on the programming of I work on the programming of the fellowship. So while I support MWAPE and Faith in the admissions and recruitment aspect of things, when it comes to the fellowship, we are the ones who are now stepping in to give you that amazing training to get you towards your goals as a leader and also towards our mission for global health equity. On that note, I'll hand it over to MWAPE. Thank you for everyone in the chat. Lovely to hear from you.
Hi, everybody. My name is Mwape Lilian. I'm from Zambia. And like Rama said, I'm the admissions special coordinator. I've been working with GSC for almost 2 years now and excited to be with you guys today. So, yeah.
Thank you so much, Mwape. I think I'll give Bruce a chance to go and then we can set off.
Thank you, Faith. It is great to see all of you. And I'm really excited to share or to really listen because the team is going to be sharing. You're going to hear from our alums. You're going to hear from our fellows. You have heard from Faith and Mwape and Rama, who are going to be supporting you during this session. So really, really excited to share about the program, to answer any of the questions that you might have, and to support your application to our fellowship program. You're all very welcome. Over to you, Faith.
Thank you so much, Ruth. So before we get right into it, I wanted to give some guidelines that we're going to follow during our session. I'm going to kindly ask that if you're not a panelist or if you're not talking, to switch off your video. We shall give the chance to the panelists and myself to actually be on video so that you can know who is actually talking and addressing us. If you have any questions, kindly post them in the chat and let the questions be directed at everyone, and they will be answered either in the Q&A session that we'll have at the end of the session, or we shall actually answer them as we go forward. So please post all the questions in the chat. Don't post them directly to me, so that we don't have repetitions of questions being asked once we've answered them. I'm going to ask if you're not talking to kindly mute your mics so that we avoid the background noise and the background noise. Yes, so those are the simple rules that we have and guidelines that you're going to follow as our session is going on. And to start off, I'm going to give us a brief overview of GHC and our fellowship program, what you're going to take away from this session as we're moving forward. So for the next 1 hour, I want you to engage with me. Kindly ask questions where you don't understand. Kindly post questions in the chat, and they will be answered. Or you can actually also go, if you feel like some of the questions aren't answered clearly, we have a FAQ page that links will be posted in the chat, and you can check them out. Nicole, kindly mute your mic. Thank you so much. All right. Global Health Corps is a nonprofit organization that connects young leaders from different backgrounds, diverse backgrounds, as an organization that promotes leadership. We are the next generation accelerator, focusing on improving global equity, health equity into the communities that we work with. So we believe that everyone deserves a fair chance at health equity. So as Global Health Corp, our mission, our vision is to actually put leaders into these communities as they work in the front line or the back end and the back line to actually promote health equity. And most cases, most of us think when you talk about health, it's all about the doctors, the nurses, maybe the clinical officers, but we have people in the background that work so hard for example, we have HR officers. If you're in an organization, you definitely need someone who's going to work from people and culture. If you have, let's say you're in an organization that has procurement, you're going to need someone who's going to work in supply chain. You're going to need someone who's going to maybe work, even have office attendants. So we promote this generational leadership into the front line, into this organization, to work with our organizations, to work with our communities, and we give chance to young leaders to actually showcase and focus and show us what they can do in the world that we're living. So our focus is more on the non-traditional players, like I said, in the health space. And we are based as Global Health in 4 countries. Our 4 major countries, they have Malawi, Uganda, Rwanda, and Zambia. However, as of last year, we diverged and moved across sub-Saharan Africa, and they're recruiting from over 10 countries. And some of the countries that we are in, we have Liberia, Burundi, Kenya, Tanzania, Malawi, we have Zimbabwe. So we recruit from a cohort, a massive cohort internationally. And these are the applicants, these are the prospective candidates that we want to place in different countries. So if you're a person who's coming from South Africa, you have a chance to come and actually be placed. You can work in Uganda under any of the placement organizations that we have. If you're placed in Malawi, if you're based in Malawi, you can work in Zimbabwe under any organization that we have there that is part of our placement organizations. So we have candidates who are dual citizenship. You also stand a chance. You can apply for roles that are actually applicable to all the countries that you're dual citizen with. So as Global Health Corp, we don't discriminate. We invite everyone to actually be part of this journey that we're with, to be part of the future generation leaders that we are supporting, that we're fronting, that we want to showcase the world that, that the generation that we're living is the new generation leaders that we want GHC to promote. As Global Health Corp, we have what we call co-fellow system. Once you're placed in a country, you're given a role. Let's say you come to Uganda, you're going to be placed with a co-fellow. So if you are a national of Uganda or you're a national of Malawi, you'll be given another co-fellow to actually help you move forward in the system, in your placement, in your period in your fellowship period. And once that, and as you're being placed as a co-fellow, you also have support from the country teams. You have support from the alumni. You have support from people who work as GHC. We have the partners in the organization are going to actually be supporting you. So there is that support that we give to everyone, that we give to the fellows that are successful as our candidates. And once that fellowship has run its course and you finished your 12 months fellowship, you're going to join a vast community of alums. We have over 1,200 alums, and there's networking in that community. There is support in that community that you know where you're going to start from once your fellowship has ended with GHC, but you're going to join now alums who are leaders in their different specs in the world, who are doing great things where they are, who are successful, who are fronting the leadership that actually they gained and the experience that they got from GHC as leaders. So to cut it short, that is briefly what GHC is and what African Fellowship is all about. And to move on at this point, I'm going to invite the panelists to give a brief introduction about themselves, their name, their fellowship here, the organization they are in, the country, and what they're currently doing. So I'm going to pick randomly, and I'll go with Hanif. Kindly go first.
Hi. Thank you so much, Faith. Hi, everyone. Good to see you all. Good to have you all. My name is Hanif. Hi. I was a GHC fellow in 2020-2021, placed at Elizabeth Glaser Pediatric AIDS Foundation. Currently, I joined GHC as a staff So I work as an impact and training manager supporting African program as well as the US program. I'm looking forward to all of you on this call and even beyond this. So thank you so much. Back to you, Faith.
Thank you so much. Cynthia, kindly mute. Thank you so much, Cynthia. Thank you so much, Annie, for that intro. I'm going to move on to Caroline. Caroline, kindly give a brief intro about yourself.
Sorry about my voice. I hope you can hear me. My name is Caroline Achola. I was a fellow in 2018-2019, placed at Days for Girls as a programs officer. I am currently working with SEMA as the operations lead. I'm excited to be here and interact and share my own experience from GHC. Glad to be here.
Thank you so much, Caroline. Kashina.
Hi, everybody. I'm so happy to be here. My name is Nalishebo Kashina, and I'm from Zambia. I'm a 2022-2023 fellow. Yeah, I'm now an alum, like Hanif and Caroline. I was placed at NAUSPA, that's the National Organization for Women in Sport, Physical Activity and Recreation. And currently I'm with Bookworld Zambia, where I manage their social media because I'm passionate about communication. Otherwise, I'm happy to be here. Thank you all.
And finally, can we have Ketema?
Yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Ketema. Currently, I'm a current fellow, which means a 2023-2024 fellow. My placement organization is Last Mile Health in Malawi, country office. Yeah, guys, nice to see you all. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. So as you can see, we actually have alums and a current fellow on our panel. So you can get to ask as many questions as you want. You can get to ask their experience, what they're gaining. Alkatema is our current fellow right now. And it's good to know that, you know, he's here. He's very excited to be part of the team. He's very excited to talk through his experience, what he's going through right now, what you aspire to become as a fellow next year. So Ketema is actually living it right now. So you're going to get to hear his excitement, his experience, how he's finding the fellowship so far, the support he's getting. And I'm so glad that he's part of our team. And you can see also have alums who have been with us. We had Nalishebo was with us in 2022. Hanif currently is working with GHC, which is a great thing. So it is a great experience, and you know that there's, you know, future opportunities out there. You can actually succeed if you're a successful candidate. So to cut right to the chase, I don't want to waste time. We have only an hour and quite a lot on our schedule. I want to invite the panelists to talk about their experiences. What inspired you to join the fellowship? Caroline, I think I'll start with you.
Thank you. So for me, what inspired me to join GHC1 was I needed a space where I could actually impact in my community health-wise. I was someone who did social sciences. I did development studies. And in a way, most people think when you do development studies, anything related to social sciences, it's not connected to global health. And that's not true. So when someone introduced me to global health, it was actually an alum. She's called Mary. She told me you can apply for this fellowship. It's an interesting opportunity. I applied once, by the way, and I got the fellowship the first time I applied. Unlike others who apply several times and they don't get, which I like about the GHC fellowship. It's very transparent. I wanted a community where I could actually impact on the community in the things of health that I am passionate about. Where could I add value without actually having a health background? And GHC was that place. So that's one of the things that inspired me to join the fellowship and become part of a community, of a network of people who have different skills, different experiences, and are knowledgeable in so many things. Yeah, over to you, Faith.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I like the fact that Caroline has said she applied once and she was successful. However, that doesn't mean that if you try the first time, you should lose hope. So if you try the first time, you're encouraged to come back and apply again. You never know. The second time could be the charm and you'll be a successful candidate. So I'm so happy that Caroline got to get the space to actually showcase her skill, to show that much as she doesn't have a medical background, she can actually frontline health equity in GHC. So I'm going to invite Hanif to talk into what inspired him to join, to apply.
Thank you so much, Faith. Can you just confirm if my audio is okay? People are complaining in the chat.
I can hear you clearly.
All right, cool. Thank you. Right. So for me, since I was young, I really wanted to do something to do healthy. But you know, when you're growing up, how life sometimes pushes you in a different direction. So I never had an opportunity to go to College of Medicine or do something that is health related. Instead, I studied economics. So I come from economics background. But then what changed my life was in 2016 when I joined Mary's Mills. It's when I found that the coordinator, the M&D coordinator to whom I was reporting to was a GHC fellow, Noria Katunge. Later on, when the organization wanted to hire another coordinator, they also hired another GHC alum. Then one of my colleague also joined GHC fellowship and he went to US, Bernard Banda. So it was really amazing. And these three alums really encouraged me to apply for GHC. I used to look down on myself whenever I see these posts on social media. I felt like GHC wasn't for someone like me. You know how we tend to look down on ourselves. But yeah, here I am, and I'll share more of my experience as time goes. But that's what inspired me. Thank you. Over to you, Faith.
Thank you so much, Hanif. I'm glad that you got encouragement from our alums. You know, they helped you, they showed you that despite you feeling, you said you didn't believe in yourself, but once you had a chance to actually engage with someone who had been through the system, you saw that it was possible. And I want us to take up, to pick a leaf and maybe take something from this, that you can speak to someone who has been through the process and they can help you, they can guide you through, how do I go through this entire process? Even if I haven't gotten it the first time around, will I be successful? And you never know, you can be a successful candidate. And I pray that as you're out there applying, as out there being a prospective client and prospective applicant, you too can get the chance that Hanif got, and he was a successful client. I'm going to go to Nalishebo to come and give us her input as well.
All right, thank you so much, Faith. So for me, it's mainly, I really wanted to be part of a network that works towards creating impact in their community. Having been somebody that did sociology, being part of GHC was always something that I always wanted. So to all applicants, joining the GHC community is something that you should be intentional about, because I did apply actually 3 times. And then the third time, that's when I actually made it. So you don't have to give up or anything. Being part of GHC is something that really transformed me, and it is something that I hoped for before. So being part of GHC is something that I wished for, I should say. Yeah, I really admired the alums, the impact they created in Zambia, seeing how much they are working for different organizations towards promoting health, because health, the word health is, or let me say, health is a very dynamic part of life, and it's applicable in each and every institution that you are found in. So I wanted to be part of those soldiers, the frontline people that actually promote health equity in all places. Yeah, thank you.
Oh wow, that time was the charm. I'm so glad. I'm so happy. So like you see, like I said, So it doesn't have to happen once. So you can try as many times as possible, and you keep believing, and you find out, what did I do wrong? Maybe there's something I didn't do wrong, and you go back and read through our page. What do they want to be a successful candidate? So maybe there's something that you didn't do right, and the next time that you try and you do it well, you actually be successful. Last but not least, we have Ketema.
All right, thank you so much. Yeah, so I can add something about what motivated me to join this Global Health Purpose Fellowship is like, yeah, I was like in the health background, like in the public health, but for the long time I was looking to have like a long-term leadership and development program, like to enrich my skills, knowledge, especially in something like different culture, context, and different scenario of my country. So when I was looking for the first time the JHC website, yeah, it says like the program is staying for a long time. There is a diversified culture and a diversified age group, which is less than 30, despite is less than 30, something like that. So when I was looking my long-term aspiration, especially to work on the global health on the front lines, this global health, I found this global health is the right place for me to grow and also to contribute my leadership skills by placing me in the high impact organization. So when I was looking the website, there is a conferencing, leadership training, and networking opportunities with a diverse cohort of global health fellow that further appeals to me to apply for this program. Yeah, I can say this. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Ketema. For those who have just joined, Ketema is our current fellow from Ethiopia, but he's right now based in Malawi as a community health coordinator, education coordinator in Malawi. And I'm glad that you got the chance to work with a diverse team. And as I said, JHC, we work with a diverse team. We don't discriminate. So our next question, I'm going to invite panelists to talk about what are the benefits of the fellowship. And I'm going to go with Ketema first, since you went last. I'm going to go with you first. Currently, what are the benefits, you as a current fellow, what are the benefits are you having right now?
Thank you so much for giving me another chance. Yeah, I don't want to I don't want this all the participants to miss this golden opportunity, because within 6 months I have like an opportunity to have the training and the retreats, especially during the beginning of the fellowship. There was like a kickings of because JHC doesn't just throw us into the field. They equipped us for success. So the training institute is like designed to prepare each new cohort for challenging, inspiring, and productive year. And also, I have an opportunity to participate in the cohort project, which is the most outstanding features for me has been this cohort project, which is a collaborative initiative that allows fellows to work together on the meaningful project. And also, I could have a check-in series, which is a structured conversation throughout the JHC fellow check-in series come next, fostering the communication between supervisor and fellows throughout the fellowship stay. And also there are different stretch projects. Especially I want to mention about the opportunity to have like a route-wise mentorship, which is a valuable component, offering especially a private one-to-one coaching session. And also there is a community mentorship, which goes beyond individual mentorship with the inclusion of the community mentorship. This aspect has been like particularly enriching as it provides a broader network of support and guidance within the GHC community. And I have an opportunity to use a professional development fund, which is instrumental in supporting my pursuit of further study to my professional development. There is one unique feature for this fellowship, which is the staff support, especially your country team. For example, for me, my Malawi country team serves as a primary point of contact throughout the fellowship years. Yeah, this JHC strikes a balance between helping us navigate the challenge and, more importantly, build our resilience, flexibility, and problem-solving skills. So, in conclusion, I can say Global S4 Fellowship is like a holistic journey filled with a diverse avenue for growing and learning. Yeah, I'm very grateful for this opportunity and can't wait to see the positive impact we can collectively make in the field of global health. Thank you so much.
Oh, wow. Very, very interesting. I'm happy to hear that. I'm happy to hear that, especially the development and professional development that you're having. I'm very happy to hear that. I'm going to move on to Hanif.
Thank you so much. Katema did not mention that now he can speak fluent Chichewa. He didn't mention that. Great. Yeah, so Katema has really mentioned quite a lot of the benefits of GHC. I can highlight a lot of them up to the end of this meeting, but briefly, we have a lot of networking. So we have Faith mentioned earlier on to say our community is 1,200 plus. So you tend to connect with people from different countries in Africa, as well as also we have the fellowship going on in the US. And we have our alums scattered across 35 countries in the world and speaking different languages, which is a very huge thing. And more to that, I will also share I also go on to share to say that most of our alums, about 90% of our alums are employed, and the majority of them, they are holding senior positions, which more likely, I should say that the more, when you send your application, high chances are that it's going to land in the hands of an alum somewhere, a certain public health organization. And we do share each other opportunities, resources. So you're going to belong to a very big pool of talent, resources, jobs, and others even they do get married. I shouldn't ignore that. So there's really a lot of benefits. In addition to that, there is traveling. You tend to travel a lot across the country and also maybe outside the country. That is being sponsored by the GHC. At the end of the program, there is the reward, what we call it professional development fund, and as well as a reward at the end of the program, which you can be able to use to take short courses or maybe to buy a software that is beneficial to your growth. So there's really a lot of what you can benefit from the GHC. I should stop here. Probably my panelists, my fellow panelists, they can also add some. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Hanif. I'm going to pass it on to Caroline.
Yes, I just want to add on what Hanif said about traveling. So if you're someone who loves traveling, GHC would give you that opportunity, of course, through your placement organization. That's one opportunity I loved about GHC, that I was going to travel. And two, the development opportunity that I could take a course and it was fully paid for by GHC. And I would get an opportunity to talk to different mentors who are at different capacities. They are doing different work with different experience. And the fact that we had an advisory, it's called the advisory, I think they're like mentors, but they're advisors on a higher level end. These are people like the Minister of Health. I remember during my time we had, there was Agnes, I think, from Rwanda. She was the Minister of Health at that time. So we would really rub shoulders with big people, and that was really amazing. And we had access to them, like you would email them or call them, and they would help you build your capacity and connect you to places where you would really have difficulties reaching, and you would easily achieve your targets because you had these connections and a support system to really take you through the fellowship. And the fact that we were very many people in our cohort, we were about 34, I think, during our time. We all knew each other. So you had a support system. You had people to rely on, people to guide you in different capacities, whether it's monitoring and evaluation, it is programming, it is software, it is engineering, anything that you needed, you didn't have to look for it elsewhere. It was within your reach. And those are some of the advantages, opportunities that you get in the JHC Fellowship. Over to you, Faith.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Nalishebo?
Thank you so much, Faith. So I don't know if my panelists have mentioned this, but I didn't hear anything. So there's a stipend that you get paid. That's very, very helpful. Yeah, the stipend that you receive is very, very helpful. And then for me, my key takeaways, like very much from the JHC Fellowship, can be the Professional Development Fund, because previously I doubted, I was like, am I going to be accepted without a master's? Because people have master's degrees, some of them that apply, but through the fellowship, I was, sorry.
Why?
Yeah. Yeah, so through the fellowship, I was supported and I was able to start my master's, actually, my master's in communication, which is a line that I'm passionate about. And also, like Katema and Hanif mentioned, the route-wise mentorship, it's like really, really perfect. At times, life gets really burdening, but then when you go for those route-wise sessions, it helps out. It helps you breathe and it helps you just have a refreshed mind. Yeah. And traveling as well. I think my fellow panelists have exhausted everything that I wanted to say. Yeah. So these are some of the opportunities. And lastly, also being part of JHC will enable you to be in rooms that you wouldn't easily find yourself in. And people tend to actually respect your word because you are more of really, really qualified and able to carry on certain tasks that you wouldn't have done before joining the fellowship. So my time as a fellow, I really rubbed shoulders with great people, like Caroline said. And so this is really an opportunity for you to like be a hero of yourself, right? Yeah, thank you.
And on that note, I wanted to talk into rubbing shoulders. Thank you. That's what you call networking. These people you rub shoulders with are people you're going to actually network with as you move away from JHC. That person that you go to when you need someone to give you maybe professional advice or to point you in the direction that you want to go. I also wanted to add on, when you become a JHC fellow, we have health insurance that we provide to all our fellows, and this is paid for by JHC. If you're traveling anywhere, whether it's in country or outside of the country, this travel is facilitated by JHC. So that is also part of the benefit that we give. Nalishebo mentioned about the living stipend. Most of the fellows that are placed outside their mother countries, let's say you're an international fellow and you're placed in Zambia, you'll be given a living stipend to help you during your stay and during your fellowship. We have housing allowance, so you're not going to suffer that. I have nowhere to sleep. What am I going to do? How am I going to handle? I'm going to a new country. So we work on your visas and your work permit. So there are so many other benefits that we have as JHC. And it's one of the reasons I want us to take pride and actually know that once I have become a fellow, I'm going to be looked after. We have mentorship programs. Once you're done throughout our fellowship, once you're done the fellowship, there's that mentorship that you keep getting, you network, you can still keep in touch with our country teams and you get support. We have a fellow who recently opened up an organization and they are crediting that to their time as a fellow in JHC. So there's so many benefits, and I really, really, really want us to take away this as we're going to sit down and put in our applications that these are some of the benefits that we're going to be receiving. So our next question that I would like to ask the panelists, can you share some of the highlights of your experience so far Nalisheba, I'll start with you.
The highlights of my fellowship, they are quite plenty, but because of time, I'll tend to summarize them. So I'll start by, during my time as a fellow, I was able to organize one of the country's biggest sports festivals. That was really huge for me. And I was also able to at least go into outskirts and look at how we can promote health equity through sport. That was also part of the highlights that we could do, and also just increase the visibility of the organization that I was placed at. I was able to at least develop a proper communication system that the organization can adopt and later on have its work, the work being done known to the funders and the members in Zambia. So I think that those are among the highlights that I can spotlight right now.
Thank you, thank you. Ketema, being a current fellow, what are the highlights that you have right now?
Yeah, mine is like within 5 months. Yeah, I do more than a year activities. Like, for example, immediately after I'm coming to Malawi, I'm able to support the IKS training, which is integrated community health information system training for around 250 community health workers, and also are able to provide more than 100 community health workers on community-based maternal and newborn care training. And recently, I've been trained as a national trainer for community-based maternal and newborn care, and I'm able to participate in developing two very important tools that will be utilized nationally, especially the supervision checklist, which was the first in its form in Malawi under Malawi Ministry of Health. So under the support from my placement organization, which is Last Mile Health, we're able to support. So I was one of the organizing team in developing the supervision checklist, and also as an integral part of the National Community-Based Maternal and Newborn Care Training Manual, are able to support in the developing of the skill assessment tool for this program. Yeah, just a few to mention a few of them. So in the upcoming months, there are a lot of activities that I'm supposed to do, yeah, in the remaining months of my fellowship. So honestly, I encourage all these participants to apply for this fellowship, to write their essays in the ahead of time to prepare themselves. Yeah, this is some of my activities so far.
Thank you. And still on that note, what are your plans after GHC? Do you have any specific actions you're excited to take base, or you're excited to take on after GHC?
Yeah, definitely. I don't know. Some of the participants may know me in the LinkedIn website. Yeah, after the completion of my fellowship, like, yeah, I have planned to conduct one community health project in Ethiopia, which aim to address specific health challenges in the local community, which will leveraging the knowledge and insights gained during this fellowship. Specifically, I plan to lead the impactful project within Aspire Africa. Aspire Africa, I don't know, some of the participants may know in the LinkedIn, is managed by me, which is a platform that works on capacitating young professionals, specifically in Ethiopia. So I have a plan to expand this program across the continent. Yeah. So as a part of Rootwise mentorship program that currently I have, based on this model, I have a plan to conduct such kind of mentorship program, specifically in Ethiopia. And in the meantime, I plan to expand this program to other African countries. Yeah, I have a lot of things to do.
Oh, I'm very excited for you. I'm very, very excited for you. And I hope you take advantage of our alum community to actually help you push most of these very, very great initiatives and plans that you have. I'm going to ask Hanif to talk into this next question, how GHC helps you transition from the program. Since Hanif is currently working for Global Health Corps, I want him to talk about the transition from a fellow to an alum to a current employer. I think that will give us great insight. Hanif.
Thank you so much, Faith. So GHC program is a 12-month program where you'll be placed at a health organization, and within that, you are going to be exposed to so many training programs. That is to do with all of that we have already mentioned: mentorship programs, trainings. There's funding that will help you to do a short course that we call it professional development fund. So all of that prepares you with soft skills that will help you to really excel in your career. And again, you are also connected to a very big network. You are introduced to different people, to alums. You join alums already. You start building this relationship with different alums within the country, again, even outside the country. So all of this is all about preparing you into the next life, that's after fellowship. So after that, we also talked about the award that you get at the end of the fellowship. So that award also helps you to sort of like cover some cost while you are looking for a job. So let me emphasize a little bit here. Once you finish your 12 months program with GHC, there are chances that the placement organization that you're working at can retain you at the same. We have seen this with all about 80% of our fellows being retained at their placement organization. Again, if you are not lucky, like myself, I wasn't retained at my placement organization, but within a month, I was able to land another job with a health organization that is called Management Sciences for Health. Some of you that are in Malawi or Nigeria, you are quite familiar with that organization. And from the feedback from our supervisors, about 93% for over 5 years, they have been saying that if they had all the chances, all the opportunities, they would have been hired the fellows that were placed at their placement organization. So you can see chances are really quite a lot. Again, we don't leave you with such. We do also train you how you can communicate, how you can prepare for interviews, how you can be able to respond to interviews, how you can search for jobs. You have advisors, you have mentors, and all of that. And again, once you move from there, then we introduce you to the alumni program, whereby with alumni program, I think something is happening with the video.
Hanif,
Great.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right, I think you went off.
Yeah, okay, cool. I was just saying that with all of this programming, we prepare you to be very great leaders in your community. We do expose you to different technical skills. I can share my story to say that when I joined GHC, I was just an M&D person, but working with Elizabeth Glaser Pediatric AIDS Foundation, I was exposed to data analytics, which is now my passion into data analytics. And there are so many people who have changed their career. Again, there's no harm also to, after the GHC fellowship, to focus on other areas like businesses. We have alums who were developers, and now they have built softwares that they're selling on the market, big guys that are selling on the market. So all of that, GHC exposes you with all these resources. And even after the fellowship, we do support you. We have so many resources that are available, and I'll be able to explain in the next time. In the next question. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Hanif. I'm really glad for that really detailed explanation. And I've noticed in the chat there are some questions that are around eligibility, I think skills. So some of these are going to talk about them as we go on. So if some of your questions around that, kindly be patient. We are moving on to the session that you're going to be discussing that, and some of the questions are going to be answered. So my next question is going to go to Nalishebo. What are the qualifications or eligibility of the fellowship?
That's like my favorite part of GHC. Like whenever it comes to the fellowship, eligibility, I love it. So firstly, you have to be 30 years of age or younger, number one. And secondly, you must hold a bachelor's or undergraduate university degree. That's the second qualification. And then thirdly, you have to be fluent in English. And then the last one is that you have to be a citizen of either Burundi, Rwanda, Ethiopia, Ghana, Kenya, Liberia, Malawi, Nigeria, Rwanda, oh, I mentioned Rwanda, South Africa, Tanzania, Uganda, Zambia, or Zimbabwe. So those are the countries that you're supposed to be from. Yes. I hope I was audible and clear enough, especially on the age aspect and also the paper that.
Thank you so much. And yes, there are some questions in the chat around that. Is this fellowship meant for only people 30 years and below? Yes, you have to be 30 years by the time the fellowship starts. So if you're above 30, you won't be given a chance to be part of our fellows. And some questions were, Nalishebo mentioned a question around being a graduate. I saw a question around, I'm yet to graduate, I'm due to graduate, can I be a fellow? Yes, you can. However, by the time you become a fellow, by the time you're given that confirmation letter that you've become our fellow, you should have graduated. However, during the process, we will need a document that shows us that you're actually graduating soon, or you're almost graduating, or you're still at university. Maybe you're doing your coursework or whatever. Okay, you're almost graduating. Let me just make it simple as that. So by the time that you start your fellowship, you should have graduated. You should be below 30 years of age. Otherwise, you won't be eligible for the fellowship. My next question goes to Hanif. How does the application process work?
Thanks a lot. So all of you're here because you have seen that GHC has now started recruiting, or maybe the applications are open. So this is the first start. So applications open here, probably they'll be closing in mid-June. So all the applications happens on the GHC portal. There's nothing like sending an email to Faith or whoever is there. No, nothing. You need to complete everything on the GHC portal. So the first part of it is you are required to fill in your bio information. Then there are few essays that you're supposed to respond with calm. I should emphasize with calm. It has happened in the past where you share an opportunity to someone like, hey, there's this application, can you apply? 5 minutes later, they're like, hey, I'm done, I've submitted. That's not, you need to take all your time, please take your time, focus, think about it, and write your essays. Then there's CV. You are supposed also to upload your CV. There are requirements, there are details, there are formats that are shared on the website. Please go and review all such. Then we also require your recommendation letter. That is from your supervisor. If you're just a new graduate, probably you can get one from your lecturer, not your girlfriend, your fiancé, your wife. We need somebody that has a professional experience with you, somebody who can really be able to comment on the leadership and professional side of it. Then once you submit with all those requirements, you submit to GHC, then you can relax, enjoy your time, and GHC will have now time to review such. Normally they go up to the first reading, the second reading, and up to somewhere February and March. It's when the GHC community and the staff will be able to complete the reading part. Once we do that, then we go to the second part or the third part, whereby you are going to receive an email that, hey, congratulations, you've been invited for the semi-final interviews. That's the best moment. Everyone is excited. And again, if you're not lucky, sorry, we regret to inform you that those emails also do come. So normally we do give feedback. So once you're invited to the semi-final interviews, this is the interview where now we need to know who wrote the essays, which ones are authentic, and who used ChatGPT. This is the time where we review and assess you to understand that you can be able to demonstrate what you have written in your CV. the leadership skills, how your values align to the GHC values and mission. So this is the time where the GHC community will be able to assess you. Let me also emphasize one thing here. On the portal, whenever you go through the application, you'll be able to see that you can apply up to 2 positions, 2 roles that you are qualified to. So during the semi-final interviews, if you are qualified to both, you can be able to do two interviews. You can be able to be interviews on both roles. Again, after that, once you pass the semi-final interview, then you go to the final interviews. Now, this is the best moment ever. So this time, you'll be interviewed by the placement organization. So for example, if I applied to be at, let's say, Chai Malawi, right? So, or maybe Partners in Health. So I applied to be at Partners in Health. So during the final interview, I'll be interviewed by the placement organization, which is Partners in Health. So if I'm applying for the position of M&D officer, and maybe for this position, they need somebody who has skills in developing M&D frameworks, analyzing data using Power BI and the like. This is the time where my skills will be tested. Either they can ask me for any practical interviews or any other type of interview, just like any other job interviews. So once you do that, then you are also going to get the feedback from GHC, probably early June or somewhere before that, that, hey, you've been successful. And that's the time all of us will be cheering for you, welcoming you to GHC. And now it's the time for you to talk with your immigration officers, prepare for your passport, and all the way to Rwanda for training institute. So yeah, that's the process. But I think that's in brief. However, there's a lot of information that is required that you can review on the GHC portal. Again, as I mentioned, the most important part is you need to take your time whenever you're responding to these essays. So many videos, the likes of Katema are recording in Amharic, and so many videos are available on YouTube on how you can be able to respond to these essays. Make sure that you understand the role that you're applying to, and you understand what is GHC's values and mission, and align that to your application. Thank you so much. Back to you, Faith.
Thank you so much for that elaborate and dynamic explanation of the process. I'm not even going to add on all of anything. I'm right going to ask Caroline to talk about how to craft a winning application. Caroline, what did you do to craft that winning application that you managed to get that position?
That's a very good question. I made it very natural. Make it you. Don't lie about anything. Speak about yourself and let the questions flow. Let the first question lead to the other, such that the person who is reading can connect and they can easily relate to what you're trying to say. Show that you're very passionate, because GHC, like I said, I have a background in social sciences and it is not in public health. So I had to show my desire to actually do public health work. So the first question is always, why do you want to be a fellow? Why do you want to join GHC? And that question will lead you to all the rest of the questions. The moment you get the first question right, all the other questions fall into place. So you need to have a drive. What is driving you? What is your agenda? Make that really clear. And then talk about your experience. Yeah, what have you done? If you've not been doing anything, then you cannot relate it to the passion that you have. Yeah, you have to be someone who has been doing something, and that thing should connect to your passion in public health. And then also show what you're willing. Are you willing to learn? How do you? What is it? How do I bring it? How do you respond to challenges? How do you address issues in your community? Are you willing to work with others? Because one of the core values of Global Health Corps is collaboration. So are you willing to collaborate with others? Is feedback something that you really consider as something important? So you put all these things into consideration while applying. And then you also look at the role that you're applying for. Does it fit into the overall agenda of GHC? and does it fit into something that you want to achieve? You might be an actor, you might be, let's say, someone doing programming, and you're applying for a role in communication. Of course, there is someone who is ready to learn and willing to learn, but also how do you align your purpose to the goals that you're setting? Yeah, does it make sense? Again, sorry for my voice, but I hope everyone can hear me clearly.
Thank you so much, Caroline. I really appreciate, and actually, based on what you've talked about regarding writing a compelling application, we have things that we consider as you're writing that. And this year, there are some changes that we made around the CV, the resume. How do you write a compelling resume that will actually make you stand out? Previously, we weren't so particular about the number of pages a CV should have, but currently we are strictly allowing only people who have a two-page CV. So if you have a CV that is more than 2 pages, chances are you're not going to be considered as one of our candidates. And as you're drafting out your CV, as you're crafting your CV, there are some particular things that you need to look at as you're writing a compelling CV. Look at clearly your name, state your name, have a compelling professional background. Let it be precise, concise, compelling, and brief. Don't write a full page giving us your professional background. Then tailor your CV to the role that you're applying to. Don't just write a generic CV and then you just attach it, because we are looking at specific skills. We're looking for skills and experiences for the roles that you're applying to. So if you give me a generic CV, I'm not going to have the time to look for all the things that I need to get out of that CV. We have over 7,000 applicants, and I don't have a lot of time to spend reading just one CV. So tailor your CV to the role that you're applying to. Then clearly state out your relevant skills, both the soft skills and the hard skills. Align them to the job requirements that you applied to and the work experience that you have. So if you're applying for a communications job, show me your work experience, show me your skills, show me your show me the work experience that I need to know that, okay, now this person, much as they have a degree in sociology, but they actually have experience in communications. Then your education background, because you're going to also ask for your education certificate to be uploaded, but you mention it on your CV and just be brief. You don't need to put so many things on your education, under your education background, because you're going to upload documents supporting your CV. If you have any certifications that actually give you an advantage, you also actually can put a mention, and then the languages that you speak, because some jobs are specific and particular about certain languages that they want a candidate to speak. So also outline all the languages that you speak, much as the application on the website also asks you to input the languages that you speak. Kindly include them on the CV as well, and make it as brief as possible. So if you go to our FAQ page, we attached a draft that you can look at and use as you're crafting your CV. You can follow that draft. You don't need to do it exactly like that, but it's just an idea of what you want as a 2-page CV. So those are some of the changes that we made, a standardized 2-page CV. Also, as you're applying, remember that our roles, previously we had been applying to 3 roles. However, right now, currently, we are applying for only 2 roles. So the number of roles that you can apply for are 2. However, we have a section where you're asked what other interested opportunities or interests or skills and experiences do you have, and may you want to be considered for a role other than the 2 that you've applied for. So if you've seen another role that you think you're a perfect fit for, you can go to that section and actually give us that information that, okay, much as I have applied for comms and advocacy and but I'm very good at community health. So if you have a role and we believe you're the perfect fit for that role, chances are you'll be considered for that role as well. So, and what are the advantages the PACS fellows receive? I talked about this earlier on as we're discussing the benefits and the opportunities. However, I can briefly run through. We have the network and professional development opportunities that fellows and alums receive. You have a vast community of alums that we actually that actually help us to progress. Once you've completed your fellowship, you're going to join the alums, and these alums have a GHC community where they have a medium blog like Amplify. You can publish your content, you can keep in touch with the country teams and still keep getting support from them if you're an alum. The shoulders that you rub as you're going into these retreats, into the meetings, into the conferences as a GHC fellow, all that support is there. Now we have a living stipend, housing allowance, we have mentorship programs, pairing fellows with alums. So once you become a fellow, you're going to be paired with an alum who's going to help you and guide you through this process. And also, as you're placed at an organization, we have supervisors that actually are going to come, and supervisors that help supervise you and help you go through the process. The country teams that do regular site visits to wherever you're placed, so you're not left to drown alone. And in that, I would want to encourage us to really think about this as an opportunity that's going to open wide doors for us to move forward. It's going to be part of our future career. It's going to shape us, shape our careers for us. I want to talk into, Hanif had mentioned it, the fellowship duration. Previously, it was 13 months. Currently, we are running it at 12 months. So if you're placed from, let's say, for instance, if you're placed from July, you run for 12 months, and then the fellowship will end. And once that has ended, the duration, you're going to get a completion award. A completion award, and that award is to help you on your professional career as you're starting out on your next steps. And Elishebo mentioned that she actually went and started studying her master's after receiving that completion award, which is something that I'm really glad to know that once you've completed, is something that you use for your benefit, or something that is going to move you forward as a fellow, as an alum. I'm going to look in the chat and see some of the questions. I see if we can answer. Can you add a master's degree to be completed? If you have a bachelor's degree, you're eligible to apply for any of our roles. You simply go to our website under the African Fellowship and follow the prompts. Then what other question? I'm looking at some of them, I'm skipping because we've talked through them. The fellowship, the research, we've talked about that. How many applications per year? So we apply once a year, and currently we have applications are open. They opened on 5th of this month, and they're closing on the 10th of January. However, we have what we call a priority deadline. So if you want your application to be considered, we have a priority deadline, which is 2nd February. However, our final official deadline is 10th. So applicants who apply by 2nd February stand higher chances of being considered, as opposed to someone who scrambles towards the end of the application to apply. So please take that take note of that. Can you apply for one? We can apply for a maximum of 2 roles. However, you can give us more areas of your interest, and you can be considered for other roles that we feel that you're fit. So say your degree has nothing to do with global health or communication. As long as you have a degree, you are eligible to apply. Just tailor your resume and your experience to the role that you're applying for. Don't give us a generic CV. So that is one thing I need you to take note of. I was trying to apply, but the fellowship role says selection maximum limit, yet I only chose 1 role. Kindly go back and look at, you might have applied and actually submitted twice. because the system, if you submit twice, it will show you that you've actually submitted twice. Can a teacher based in a rural indigenous community apply? Yes. We are diverse. We want the rural, the urban, peri-urban, wherever you're based, as long as you're a national of the sub-Saharan countries that we mentioned, the 13 countries that you're recruiting from, you can apply for any role. What if you're currently enrolled in a master's degree to be completed? Like I mentioned, you must have a bachelor's degree. And then yes, there's a question here. Can I get leave? Can I get leave and then go back to work? No, the fellowship actually requires you to be fully committed. It is a 12-month commitment that we need someone who is ready to take on. If you're not ready to give us the commitment of the 12 months, kindly don't put in your application, because you're going to be wasting both yours and our time if you're going to just go halfway of the fellowship and then you drop out. And then it would have been much better for someone who actually has the time to give in to apply. So if you don't have the time to fully commit, you are not going, please do not apply. Is it advisable for someone to apply in their own eligible country? Yes, you can apply for roles that are based in your country. You can apply for roles that are based outside your country, as long as you're eligible to apply. So Hanif, I want you to talk about, there's a question here. Sorry. Yes, 2 fellows being placed at the same time in the same organization. I think this is about the co-fellowship. Maybe you can talk more about the co-fellowship and make them understand your experience of the co-fellowship, and we can take it from there.
Great, thank you so much, Faith. Yeah, so what happens is GHC normally advertises 2 roles per each and every placement organization. So they can advertise for communication officer as well as also, let's say, M&D officer to be placed at the same organization. So what happens is one fellow is going to be a national fellow. By national fellow, what I mean is for Malawi, it means we're going to have one fellow who is from Malawi working as an M&D officer at Partners in Health. And we are going to get another fellow from another country. Could be from South Africa, could be from Ethiopia, Rwanda, who will come and work in Malawi as M&D officer. So you are going to be 2 fellows working on different roles, but at the same organization. So you might also be reporting to different supervisors. But why are we keeping 2 fellows at the same organization? Is to support each other. So emotionally, you'll be able to support each other. You'll be learning from each other. For example, if myself, I'm a Malawian, working with Katema at the same organization, Katema is from Ethiopia, we are going to learn a lot. Katema will need to support about what is it all about, where to get this in Malawi, where to do what to do this. So I'll be supporting Katema. At the same time, I'll also be learning a lot from Katema. So that's cultural exchange and appreciating diversity that we have. Again, there'll be some other technical work that 2 of you will be able to support each other in day-to-day work. Apart from that, GHC office is always there. We are always there supporting you with issues of security or anything else that we are like, think of your uncle, the big uncle, GHC office in each and every country. So we are there to support you with in terms of health insurance, logistics around the country, and any other procedures and processes that you might need. I hope that answers the question.
Yes, thank you so much. That answered the question. There is another question here that can you apply for a job that requires a master's if you have a bachelor's? I've been saying this, if you have the experience, we look for the experience mostly. Yes, the minimum qualification is a bachelor's, yes, and some roles require a master's. But do you have the experience? Because you could have the master's, but you don't have the experience. And then someone who has a bachelor's actually has the experience. However, I would want to just encourage you, apply, put in your application. Don't get discouraged because you see someone and said, we want a master's. Apply as long as you feel you have the capability, you have the skills, you have the experience that they're looking for. You can apply and try out your luck. I'm going to stay on for some, I think, 10 extra minutes, and we've opened the Q&A session. If you have any questions, please post them in the chat. I've been posting links in our chat, and these links are to help us find out more information regarding the fellowship. I've posted the fellowship program overview. You can click on that link. It will take you direct to the information that you need to know prior to your application. There is the frequently asked pages gives most of what you've talked about actually is on the FAQ page. So if you want more information, you feel like you haven't put in the answers that you need, all these questions are answered, take your time, read through that page, because most of what we've talked about actually right now is on that page. I posted the benefits and logistics link. You can go and read more and familiarize yourself with what you should expect to get once a successful fellow. If you have more questions for us, I'm going to post an email. You can send us an email at any time you feel like you want answers. We are ready to answer. We are ready to reply to these emails. And also to note, we are going to have 2 office hour sessions. For those who have missed this info session, we are going to have an office hour session. The first one is going to be on the 20th of this month, December. So that's going to be next week on Wednesday. We'll have our first office hour session, and it's still going to give us the same information. If you have more questions, follow-up questions, links will be sent out and you'll be encouraged to join, and we'll be on to answer questions that you'll be sending to us, and also be able to guide you through those ones who haven't yet actually done their applications. The next session will be on the 4th of January as you're nearing the closure of the applications. So as you're nearing that closure, we're going to have another office hour session. It's going to be more or less like this info session. However, we'll be on and we'll be ready to answer and guide you through questions that you might have while you're applying. So I'm welcoming any more information. I've put the links in the chat. Kindly make use of them. Ask questions, go read up on that information that I've said. You can actually go to the GHC website and read up. We have massive information about the alum community, the Amplify page where the alums actually publish their work. So kindly read up on that information. It gives you a very broader picture of what to expect once you become a fellow and what to expect once you have finished your fellowship. So I'm going to invite questions, post in the chat. You can direct them to any fellow, any panelist to answer. If you feel like I haven't answered you properly, you can actually ask any panelist to answer certain questions. However, we are coming to the closure of our session. I'll stay on just in case there are other questions that need answering. And yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate you having us. I appreciate you giving us this time, going through all these questions with us. And I wish you good luck. Brian, yes, you've raised a hand. You can unmute and ask your question.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, this is Brian from Kenya. I have a question regarding eligibility. Though Hanif has tried to explain it in a very clear way, but I'm not getting to understand maybe if I qualify or not. So you get that by May next year, I'll be finishing my degree course, but the fellowship is to start in July. And by then, I won't have received my degree because my graduation is to be in December. So am I eligible or not?
Unfortunately, Brian, at this point in time, you would not be eligible because you will not have graduated. The condition is by the time you start the fellowship, you should have graduated. You should be a graduate. So if you're graduating in December, you're not a graduate. So I would advise that you try applying for the fellowship the next year, 2025, 2026 cohort.
If you look at the FAQs, they're saying that if your graduation is not going to happen by that time, you should have a formal report or a kind of a letter from the institution.
Brian, can I just stop you there, Brian? So you'll be completing your program in May, but your graduation will be after the fellowship.
Yes.
Okay, you can still apply for the fellowship. So the most important thing that you can do is that you can send us a letter from your school to say that your program will be finishing by May, but you'll be graduating in December. So the letter can replace your proof of certificate.
Okay, thank you.
All right, sure.
Okay. All right. Chipirilo, Jenya, you raised your hand.
Yes. Good evening. My name is Jenya from Malawi. So I had a question. I was looking at some of the positions from the placement organizations. I saw one they had put, they require a master degree in data analytics or something like that. A bachelor's degree can apply to such kind of a position. Thank you.
Like I mentioned earlier, the minimum requirement to be a fellow, you must have a bachelor's degree. However, when you're looking at the roles on the website, there are those required, the requirements that you're supposed to have that have asterisks. I think we should follow that. If they ask that you should have a master's degree, kindly let's follow on to that. However, I'm not saying don't apply, because you should try your luck. You should try your luck. However, we should follow what the job requirement says, that if it has an asterisk and it requires you to have a master's degree, I'm kindly asking you to follow what the job requirement asks. I'm also, this session is going to be put up on YouTube. For those who have missed the session, you can advise friends to go look it up on YouTube, advise friends to join us for the office hours. Like I said, we have one on 20th and 4th of January, 20th December, 4th of January. I want to thank you for the time. I think we are, our time is fast spent. We are actually on borrowed time, and I want to jump off. However, I want to thank you for being with us, giving us this time. I am grateful, and I want to wish you the best of luck. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for joining.
Everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hello, good evening. Please kindly share the link with us, maybe via mail, or I don't know how you plan to share the link for the session. Thank you.
Yeah, we need the link.
Yeah, we'll definitely share the link. We'll also have it posted up on the platforms once we upload it on YouTube. So you have it. Make sure you also look out for the advertisement on either Facebook, LinkedIn as well. We'll have it posted there as well. So yeah.
Sorry, what platform is that? Is it a WhatsApp platform or a a Twitter
GSC
page?
has a social media platform, so you can search for us on Facebook. We're there. On LinkedIn, we are there. On Instagram, we're there. So once the comms team have it uploaded on YouTube, we'll have it posted there as well. So you can check it. Yeah.
So can you just share
All
this
right, thank
link
you
with
very much.
us? The social media link.
I think you can just search for GSC on LinkedIn to be able to find.
Just a Global Health Call on LinkedIn, you'll find us. Yeah.
Hi. Amen. I was sudah bagi. Ngoshi dia mboji kakak.
Hi.
Hi. Can I
So
ask a question?